Yo, what up guys, it's your boy Chris Reveal. Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be going over my 2026 sports predictions. This is going to vary, and I'm going to go quick through some of these because some of them are less important than others, and we will see how it goes, Alright, let's get right into it. Dodgers versus Blue Jays World Series rematch. I definitely think this is going to happen. I think Blue Jays only improved on this offseason, and I think the Dodgers improved by getting Kyle Tucker, obviously. And I think they're going back-to-back, and I think the Blue Jays will win this one. I think the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series against the villainous Dodgers. But yeah, I mean, the only downside that the Dodgers, or the Blue Jays have experienced this year is that Bo Bichette left and went to the Mets. But we replaced him with Yamamoto. And we replaced him, or we didn't replace him, but we gained a bunch of new pitchers, very good pitchers. Dylan Cease, Tyler Roja, whatever his name is. We have Trey Savage. We've only improved this offseason, and I think we're going to go back-to-back. We don't really have any competition in the American League. Moving on. LA Rams win the Super Bowl. I had the Buffalo Bills winning the Super Bowl, but since they lost to a terrible call by the refs in overtime, my new prediction is LA Rams win the Super Bowl. I think they're the best team still active. I think they have the best offense out of any of the teams. My original pick would have been the Broncos, but now that Bo Nix is injured and not playing, I think it's an easy New England versus LA Rams Super Bowl, and I think LA Rams win it. I think the Super Bowl experience Matthew Stafford has, and the offensive line, Puka, is Devontae on the Rams? I don't know. I think he's on the Rams. I think their offensive line is just too good, and I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Spain wins the World Series. I don't watch soccer. It's in Toronto, so I figured I would give it a spin. I think Spain is going to win the World Series, or the World Cup. Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship. I think they're really good. I thought they were going to plummet down the seed rankings without Nikola Jokic when he got injured, but they're doing just fine without him. They're like 4-3 or 4-2. They're doing great without him, and that should even more give me confidence that they're going to be able to handle OKC, Houston Rockets in the playoffs. Plus, Jokic somehow rises in the playoffs. So does Jamal Murray. I have an undying belief in this team. I really do believe the Denver Nuggets is the best team in the NBA. OKC is clearly showing its flaws when it comes to shooting. I think the finals for the West is going to be OKC versus Denver, and I think Denver beats them in 7. And then whoever comes out of the East, let it be whoever comes out of the East. I think the Denver Nuggets beat them soundly, and I think they win the NBA championship. Moving on. Colorado Avalanche win the Super Bowl. They're just by far the best team in NHL. Nathan McKinnon is so good, and they have so many offensive players that are good. Their defense is good, and they come back no matter what. It could be 3-0 the other team, and they come back and win somehow. They're going to win the Stanley Cup. Moving on. Blue Jays win the American League. We did win it last year with 97 wins. I think the New York Yankees have only gotten worse, and I think those are really only big competition, that and the Seattle Mariners. I think we soundly win American League back-to-back. The Phillies win National League back-to-back. They won last year. Again, I think their window is closing, but I do believe they will win the National League this year. Because I do not think the Dodgers will, because I think the Dodgers know they'll just be in the playoff, and they'll rise in the playoffs. They don't need to win these regular season games. They don't need to try their hardest to win. So I do believe the Phillies will win. Denver Nuggets versus Detroit Pistons NBA Finals. Detroit is the best team in the East. New York Knicks are on a downward slid. I think they're going to trade some. They're going to be buyers and sellers at the NBA deadline, and I think Detroit will win the East, and I think this will be our NBA Finals. Moving on. Giannis Antetokounmpo gets traded to in my opinion, New York. I think there's a cat trade to be made in the offseason. I think Giannis gets traded to New York or OKC or the Spurs. I'm not going to fiddle with who I think they're going to go to, but this prediction is just Giannis is no longer a Milwaukee Buck. My likely spot of landing is New York, though. Ja Morant gets traded. He hates the fucking Grizzlies. The Grizzlies hates him. He obviously doesn't want to be there. They obviously don't want him. I think he's going to get traded to the Miami Heat for like a package with like Jovic and Tyler Hero. And I think they're going to whip him up into shape, and I think he's going to go back to being Ja Morant of old. That or Minnesota, because Minnesota needs a good point guard. But I do think Miami Heat is the likely landing spot. Karl Anthony Towns get traded. I think he's going to Orlando to do some three-point spacing. Their three-point percentage is fucking horrendous. New York Knicks obviously don't like Cat. He can't play defense, so that defensive-minded Orlando Magic team will be good for him. He's shit. He's clearly declining this year. He barely averages 20 points now. He struggles on defense. His offensive game has been lacking as of the last 30 games. I think he gets traded this year. LeGoat leaves LA Lakers. I don't think LeBron James retires this year. I think he plays one more season. And if I had to guess, he's going to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers as a goodbye, leaving his retirement tour on his home team, on his team that he won a championship with. I think the Cavs. But a sneaky pick is the Golden State Warriors. It's a sneaky pick because LeBron and Curry always want to play together. They're two of the best of all time. The Olympics run really did show that, and I do think that's a sneaky pick, but LeBron will not retire an LA Laker. Tarek Skubal gets traded to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to get... The pick is just he gets traded, but I don't think Tarek Skubal will remain a Detroit Tiger. They're obviously not trying to win a championship. He wants to win a championship. He's a massive... He's the best pitcher in the MLB. They're going to trade him, get a bunch of assets, and the most likely buyer is the Dodgers. Michael Porter Jr. gets traded, most likely to Golden State because they need him. Now that Jimmy Butler's gone, they need Michael Porter Jr. I don't know why I put the Blazers here. It was just one of the other photos I see, but most likely landing spot is Golden State. Okay, hold on. Blue Jays win 100-plus games in the MLB season. They won 97 last year, and I think they've improved. So I think they can hit that 100 milestone. Trey Savage wins Rookie of the Year. There's not really any other contenders for this. He's by far the best pitcher in this rookie class. He's insane. He had so much experience in that playoff. He rose to the occasion. His release is so high. He's definitely winning Rookie of the Year. Con Knippel wins Rookie of the Year. Yes, I know Cooper Flagg is the far in doubt the runner-up, but I don't think Cooper Flagg will win. I think Con Knippel is making history with how good his three-point shooting is, how much he's averaging. He's averaging more than Cooper Flagg on better efficiency. They're averaging around the same rebounds and assists. He's doing something unheard of while Cooper Flagg is stat padding on a shitty team. While he's legitimately winning games for them on the Hornets. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani win MVP. This is not a shocker. This is just another one of those gimmies. Another one. SGA wins MVP. Unless Nikola Jokic... Unless Nikola Jokic is able to play the rest of the season with no injuries and not miss a single game, SGA is going to win. I don't think he's playing at at a MVP level right now. I think he's digressed a little bit. He's not playing as good as he did last season, while Jokic is playing 10 times better than he did last season, even though last season was very good. The incredible games he's had this season were insane, but he's obviously injured and out, so he's not going to be able to hit the MVP games required. So I think SGA wins the MVP, even though I don't like SGA. He's a foul baiter. Joel Mazzulla wins Coach of the Year. He's made the He's made the Boston Celtics 2 seed without Jason Tatum, without Jrue Holiday, without Kristaps. It's an insane story. Everyone was thinking they're not even going to make the playoffs, and now they're the 2nd seed. He's making Coach of the Year. Anthony Edwards wins Clutch Player of the Year. This is insane. His clutch percentage on his shots were insane. A prime example is the Christmas game between him and the Denver Nuggets. Holy shit. He was still so fucking good in that game. He's winning Clutch Player of the Year. Chet Holmgren wins Depoy. I don't think Victor is going to hit the required amount of games, so I think Chet's the runner-up if Victor does not make the required games. I personally have Rudy Gobert over Chet, even though I hate Rudy. I would have Rudy over Chet. Keontae George wins Most Improved. He's averaged 26, 25 over the 17 he averaged last season. He's become a better passer, become a better rebounder, become a better shooter on a team that's shit, obviously, but he has shown so much potential and that he's so much better than he was last season. AJ DeBanza gets drafted to Utah. They obviously want him in Utah. He's already in BYU. They want to keep him, and I feel like it's just scripted. They're going to get him. He's probably going number 1. The Utah Jazz will probably get him because of how shit the Utah Jazz is. AJ DeBanza gets drafted to the Utah Jazz. Cam Boozer goes to the Pacers. Pacers right now have the worst record in all of NBA, and they're definitely going to be in the lottery. I get a vibe that Cameron Boozer is a Pacer. I don't know what it is, but it just really does give me that vibe, and I think he's going number 3, and I think that's a realistic pick for the Pacers. Aaron Rodgers plays one more season. I think this is a shoo-in. He doesn't want to leave on a fucking dominating loss. He's already stated that he may play one more, so I do believe this is a shoo-in. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight happens, even though Joshua got in that car accident, RIP to his friends. I do believe this happens probably in October, and I do believe Tyson Fury wins. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall pick. This is a shoo-in. I'm not even gonna, but I do think he's gonna be a bust. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a system quarterback. He's not going to be able to make the right throws when he needs to. Tatsuya Taira wins the UFC flyweight belt. I think he wins it against Joshua Van, and then I think he beats Pantoja later in the year. Conor McGregor fights Michael Chandler. I think he's going to fight him at the White House. Yuri Prochazka wins the light heavyweight title. I think Alex Pereira is going to vacate. And I think Yuri Prochazka will challenge Carlos Ulberg for the light heavyweight belt, and I think he'll knock out Carlos. Luke Littler, 3-peat at Darts World Championship. I just got into the Darts World. This shit's insane. The aura of these players. He's only 18. He won back-to-back this year in dominating fashion, and I think he'll do it again. Shohei and Aaron Judge both hit 60-plus home runs. I think Aaron Judge is going to be the home run leader, and I think he's going to break his own record, and I think Shohei will be a little bit less than Aaron Judge, but I do think he will hit 60 home runs. Toronto Raptors win a playoff series. The East is so weak right now that I could see them beating a few teams. I think they could beat the fucking 76ers, they can beat the Bulls, they can beat the Heat, they can beat the Hawks. They can beat a bunch of teams in the play-in. So hopefully, I do believe they'll win one playoff series. Lakers are a first round exit just like they are last year. This team is terribly managed, terrible team put together. They have no good center, they have no defense, and Luka will be burned out by that time. So will LeBron. Austin Reeves will win them some games, but I think they're a first round exit just because of how dominating the West Conference is right now. So Golden State Warriors do not make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to. They're slowly slipping down the play-in territory, and I don't think Curry, without no help, can catch up and keep this team afloat. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets make the playoffs, and I do not think the Milwaukee Brewers or the Cubs make the playoffs. They made it last year, but the Brewers have lost Freddie Peralta, and the Chicago Cubs are a fluke team. I don't think they're good enough to make it again. I think the Bo Bichette addition to the Mets are a massive boost in their offense, and I think that's going to push them over the edge and get them into the playoffs. And I think the Pirates are just going to have a good season with the greatest pitcher currently active in, what's his name? Why is it blanking? We all know who he is. I can't think of his name, but we all know. This is my last prediction, I believe. I think the Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs, and I think the Indiana Colts make the playoffs in the NFL playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.